Welcome, hello, afternoon, all of that stuff. Welcome. This is from the shed end. Myself, Theo, back for another video after a thrilling 4-4 game at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 4, Manchester City 4. What a brilliant game. Back-to-back games that Chelsea have played in have been thrillers, have been exciting, have been Chelsea of old, so to speak, especially yesterday. Yesterday's game was definitely the old Chelsea that we're used to seeing from very very long time ago, that we haven't seen in a long time, but we got to see snippets of what we can do as a team. Before we get into today's video, I'm going to ask a couple of things. First of all, if you can please hit that link tree link in the description that takes you to all our previous podcast episodes, our social accounts as well, so make sure you give those a follow, and also make sure you hit the subscribe button on this video as well on the channel. Make sure we can grow some of those numbers. But of course as well, there's been a couple of issues with the latest podcast episode on the audio version. So if you've been on Spotify and you can't find episode 104, then unfortunately we are still trying to deal with that in the background, but unfortunately you will have to watch it on YouTube for now. We're hoping to get that resolved early this week. So again, apologies to anyone who loves to listen to the audio version. That should be rectified. We're hoping Wednesday, Thursday we can get that uploaded to the audio version on all our platforms. So of course we got to talk about yesterday's game, because that was a thrilling game of football, especially for a neutral, for a Chelsea fan, for the City fans. But I did come away from the game very very um sort of mixed emotions. Really happy that we fought, we dug deep, we played really well. And there was part of me thinking we should have won that game last night. We should have won the game against Man City, because we put everything into it, blood, sweat, and tears. Not one player didn't leave anything out there. Pochettino got the lineup right. There's passion from the players. Players that we have asked to step up to the plate and prove themselves as Chelsea players. They done that yesterday. Raheem Sterling done that. Cole Palmer, 43 million pounds. One of the best signings that we've made out of all of this hundreds of millions that we spent over the last two summer transfer windows. Cole Palmer seems to be the one that looks like the gem out of all of them. Um, yeah, I mean, I was disappointed that we came away with a point. I felt we should have definitely got more out of the game. Um, but I mean, what can I say? We played, in my opinion, our best game this season so far. Going back to the lineups, let's go back to our lineup. Obviously, Robert Sanchez started in goal. It was a back four of Reece James, Axel Dizazi, Thiago Silva, and Marco Correa. We then had three midfield of Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Conor Gallagher leading ahead of those two. And then we had three up front of Cole Palmer, Nicholas Jackson, and Raheem Sterling, who I thought was playing amazing football. Four times champion at Manchester City, showing his worth, showing his quality, stepping up to the plate. Something that I think Raheem Sterling, as one of the older players in the team, has to do a lot more of. We need to see the performance that we got to see yesterday. We need to see that more consistently from Raheem Sterling, and getting into the right pockets of space, pulling defenders out of their position, making runs that he was doing. We're going to get onto all of that, but you look at the Man City team, the way that they lined up, shockingly, I thought they were poor defensively. Obviously, the four goals they conceded, but even the opportunities and the chances that we had around those goals as well. Gvardiol playing almost as a left back. Ruben Diaz, who I thought just looked off the pace. I think he gave away the penalty for Broja as well. Carl Walker wasn't the Carl Walker that I expected to see yesterday. I thought Raheem Sterling dealt with him, had him in his back pocket for pretty much the whole game as well. Obviously, Akanji was more the John Stones role yesterday, playing in that midfield role alongside Rodri, who again, I thought was good for City, and obviously got the goal with a wicked deflection from Thiago Silva. And going forward, I mean, this is what was scaring me. Before kickoff, you see, Jeremy Doku, Bernardo Silva, Julian Alvarez, Phil Foden, and Erling Haaland as the attack for Man City. And you look at that, half free when the teams came out, and you just thought, yeah, this is going to be annihilation, sort of, cricket score is what I was thinking that we were going to be going into. But we started the game well. I mean, we started the game on the front foot. The couple of chances early on in the game, I thought, we were fizzing the ball around, making those passes of play really good. And we looked like we were up for the game. You could hear it in the stadium as well. You could hear that the fans were on top of City. They were involved in the game. And we started well. We started so well. But I do have to start and caveat all of that by saying this: Anthony the Mank Twat Taylor. I'm going to say it again. Anthony the Mank Twat Taylor gave a penalty. Now, I'm going to try and do this without getting the channel a strike. So I'm going to try and share a couple of clips, a couple of things on here. Because I think we need to. I think we need to try and dissect how Anthony Taylor gave a penalty to Man City when there was a foul in the build-up play, to all of that. As I say, I'm not going to play this because, again, you know, the strikes and everything. But as you can see here, I'm going to try and zoom in on that if I can. You can see that the ball gets fizzed in. I think it's Reece James and Moises Caicedo, who are both clearly, as you can see, looking at the ball. They're not looking at each other. They're looking at the ball. Anthony Taylor had the clearest. I mean, he couldn't get any better view of what's going on in the game at the moment that this is happening. Doku seems to push Caicedo by the looks of it, which then off balances Reece James. At first, I thought it was a clash ahead. So for me personally, I thought Anthony Taylor should have stopped it for that reason. And I think Reece James, even after that, then goes on to stay on the floor. He stays on the ground. The ball then comes back in. Now, as you can see here as well, this is a very crucial part of why Anthony Taylor is a mank twat. Because as you can see already, Erling Haaland, as a striker, naturally, you're in the box. The ball is eventually going to come towards Erling Haaland or Phil Foden. You can see Rodri here. I'm free. I want the ball. Give me the ball. But you can see here that Cucurella doing the job defensively that he should be doing. He's already thinking, right, this ball's going to come in. I need to make sure. I mean, it's a mismatch marking anyway. I mean, look at the size of Haaland, look at the size of Cucurella. But you can see that Cucurella is ready for the ball to come in. He's ready to take on Haaland. He's ready to do his defensive duties. Now, I'm going to try and... I mean, that already tells you, again, the ball's about to swing in. But if you look at Haaland, he's already got his arms all over Cucurella. Cucurella's got his arms all over Haaland. It's a 50-50. It's a contact sport. You would expect the game to carry on. Again, you can see there already, they're still at it with each other. There's no one's doing one and one's not doing the other. They're both doing exactly the same thing. They're both trying to challenge and make sure that Haaland can't score, and Haaland's trying to make sure that he gets there before Cucurella. It's part of the game. It's part of football. It's how things should be. Now, the ball goes in. There's a tussle. Now, some people are saying that there was a pull from Cucurella on Haaland, and Haaland goes down. Personally, for me, Haaland goes down like a sack of potatoes, like dominoes. He goes down too easy for me. I think at that point, you know, a big, strong striker like that should not be going down as he does. I think Thiago Silva, last-ditch sort of clearance as well. The fact that they VAR it and Anthony Taylor gives that as a penalty, I think even on commentary you can hear, I mean, look at his face. He knows what he's done. He knows he's got away with one there. He knows it already. But they VAR it. I mean, how on earth does VAR see this as a penalty? Is beyond me. I don't get it. You know, Cucurella, again, you can see he's not even thinking about taking down Haaland. He's thinking about getting the ball. He wants the ball cleared as quick as possible. He's not thinking about bringing down Haaland, and you know, the penalty is given. But in my opinion, I don't think personally that I don't think that was even a penalty, but others might disagree with that. Now, after that, I thought we're gonna crumble. We're gonna crumble. I look at Nicholas Jackson. I think, is he gonna get a goal today? You know, is Sterling gonna still be able to deliver? Is it gonna, you know, we go 1-0 down of recent times. We normally go on to lose the game 3 or 4-0. But we didn't do that. We played amazing football. We dug deep. We got back into the game. And no sooner than they scored, you know, we come back in with the perfect response. Now, this crossing from the corner was almost like watching prime John Terry. Thiago Silva, with what was probably, I think it's his first goal of the season, but what a goal. what a goal to score. I mean, it was a brilliant goal, brilliant running as well. I think Cole Palmer and I think Cucurella tried to take out um tried to take out Erling Haaland, but it's a brilliant, brilliant corner. You know, you can see it here, fizzes it in. Cucurella, Palmer around there. The run in from Thiago Silva is what makes the goal special. Um, Trying to find it. Look, here he is here. I mean, you look at that there. He comes in. It's unmarked. No one's picked him up. It's a free header. You know, it's unheard of for City as well. City's standards. You know, that's a poor goal for City to concede. But Thiago Silva with the run in, that very sort of last minute into the box, darting header across goal. Edison hasn't got a chance, and I love this as well. I love the fact that there's bodies in the box waiting for maybe Edison to get a touch of the ball so we can try and get it in the goal anyway. And I thought, what a header for the goal. You know, make it 1-1, and I was happy for Silva because again, someone who me myself has said we need to phase him out the game, but he actually done really well in that situation. I thought he played really well. Um, to even get a free header against Man City is brilliant. So, you know, for him to do that and then to go on after that, you know, we're in dreamland after that. I mean, we're actually in dreamland because no sooner than we score again. We go 2-1 up against Manchester City. A bit of luck here in this goal. You know, Gavardio can't work his feet out. Um, Reece James, right position at the right time as well. And as you can see again, I mean, I thought here, Carl Walker, watching the game live, I thought again, Carl Walker was, and I said it before, was very rusty for me. He didn't look like he was going to be able to deal with the pace of Raheem Sterling throughout that game. But you can see even in that situation there, you know, Reece James, like I said, stroke of luck. But again, we've got options in the box. This is something we haven't seen for a couple of games now. You know, the Tottenham game take that one away, but you know, before, you know, Forest, Luton, we weren't getting bodies into the box, and already you could see, you know, we've got Nicholas Jackson, we've got Raheem Sterling, we've got Conor Gallagher running into that box as well. We've got Enzo trying to dart in there as well. So we've got bodies in the box. You know, what a ball in from Reece James. You know, and like I said, Carl Walker, again, another sloppy goal for City to concede, but to be at that back post, you know, striker's instinct to make sure that he's there. The ball's fizzed in. You know, Carl Walker realizes it's too late. Edison is in no man's land, as you can see. But you know, Raheem Sterling, what a goal and what a performance from him as well, away from that goal. Um, but yeah, what a brilliant ball in for the second goal. I mean, we, we should have continued with the performance after that, and we didn't. We do what we do in typical fashion. We do what we do in typical fashion. I have to say though, before I speak about the second goal, what a save from Sanchez for this one here. What a save, because that's going in. I mean, that's a brilliant save to get down that low as quickly as he does in that situation. I mean, clearly Haaland's through. I think it was a lovely through ball to Haaland. Dizazi's clearly out of position there. Thiago Silva's doing his almighty best at 39 years of age to get back and tackle Haaland, but you know, to still get the shot off, and for Sanchez to deal with that and to do what he done. I mean, you can see it there, man. I mean, that's a really good save from a goalkeeper. Again, who I've criticised heavily, said he's not really the standards, but this corner, I mean, this is a ball that's come in. I think we deal with the first ball, but we don't deal with the second one, and we leave Akanji. You can see here, you know, Enzo Fernandez, I think, is the player that's originally marking Akanji for this goal. And me personally, he should have been the one that's there. I'm not sure who that is there, but it looks like maybe Conor Gallagher, and it looks like Thiago Silva actually, but whoever it is, but they're marking each other. I mean, I'm confused again, very much like the goal that was conceded by City from a corner for Thiago Silva. This is very much carbon copy. You know, look at the two Chelsea players there. They're not actually marking Akanji. You know, everyone else is marking someone. Caicedo's sort of not sure who he's marking, but Enzo Fernandez, I think, if I'm correct, should be the one that's marking Akanji for the 2-2 to make it 2-2 there. But you know, it's one of those goals that again was avoidable, and this is why I keep saying we should have gone on to win this game, because that's a goal that is so avoidable. You know, if you just mark your player, I'm not sure why Enzo was more heading towards for the break, for the counter. You know, deal with your defensive duties first. Get that dealt with first, and then go on to try and get the counter. But you know, we came out the blocks slow second half. We came out the blocks slow. You know, we allowed another silly goal to be conceded here. Um, and again, you can see that run there from Haaland, not really being picked up by Dezazi, not really being picked up by Reece James. It's avoidable. I mean, these goals are. We'll look back on this game, I think personally, and we'll see that we should have won the game. We'll look back on it and we'll say we should have won this game because it's one of those games that we played our best football in, and we still come away with 1 point rather than the three. But this is one of those things that we need to be better at because our anticipation at times defensively, as you can see here, is just not good enough. And those are the sort of moments where Dezazi for me now has to come in and be here, anticipate that ball coming across. I think is half a second too slow. I feel like he should be more around, here, and he's not. He waits for that ball. He's too late. Sanchez, for me as well, watching it back last night at the highlights, I thought Sanchez, you got to get a hand onto that and stop that getting over to Haaland. And Reece James is wrong side of Haaland anyway, so he's not even effective. And another silly VAR. I mean, not to credit City at all, but to have this VAR, I mean, at what point are we saying this is handball? At what point are we saying that's handball? I mean, this is where we've got to start. We've got to start giving VAR. I don't know. We've got to stop giving the refs the situations like this because that is just not handball. It was a pointless VAR, and it's just pointless. I don't understand it. I don't know why they were VAR in that, but they make it 3-2, and at that point, you see us, still trying to battle, still trying to go on. Happy for Nicholas Jackson to get the goal. I mean, that was a brilliant ball through. Conor Gallagher, one of the players, if you've noticed in the last couple of games, I think he was doing a lot against Tottenham as well. Gets the ball in these sort of areas. And he's one of those players for me that we've got to credit Conor Gallagher. If you've ever listened to our podcast with me and Theo, I've always been very critical of Conor Gallagher. I still don't think he's the answer. I really don't. I don't think he's the answer if we're going to go and try and push for a Premier League or the Champions League or the Europa League. I don't think he's the answer going forward. I don't long term. At the moment, he's the engine on him. He doesn't stop running. He's definitely upped his game, and he's definitely always in the right positions. To receive the ball, which is what I think we have to give him the credit for. But in this situation here, Conor Gallagher receiving the ball, no one's closing him down. He's able to get the shot off. And what I liked about Nicholas Jackson for the goal was that he's in the right place. He's already thinking. You can tell already he's thinking about, right, if this comes back out to me, I have to be the first one to be receiving it. You can also see Cole Palmer about to do exactly the same thing. Again, I said it about Sterling for his goal. Striker's instinct. You've got to think that the goalkeeper's not going to save this, and he's gonna rebound it and parry it back out to you. Jackson does that. He gambles. And I'll be honest as well, I said this last week, he nearly messed up his hat-trick against Spurs. I think he wanted to pass to Modric for the hat-trick last week. He nearly messed up this goal because he takes a touch before he takes a shot. And I think had he got the confidence of a natural number 9, a traditional, informed striker, I think he takes that first time. But he takes the touch, he composes himself, and he allows himself to get a goal. I think that's, 6 goals now, Premier League goals, which is... first season, he might actually get the 15 goals that a lot of people have said he should be trying to get in his first season at Chelsea. So if he can do that, if he can continue to do that, and I was heavily critical. I said I wouldn't start him against Man City in the preview, but if he can carry on doing what he's doing, and doing it on a consistent basis for now, then there isn't really a need for us to maybe dip into that January transfer window and look at getting a striker. I still think Osimhen, I still think Ivan Toney should be the front runners for the options for us. But I think Nicholas Jackson's slowly trying to show us what he can do. And like I said, I love that about him for that goal. Natural striker's instinct, get in the box, make sure I'm the first one there. Ederson should do actually better. He should parry that away from goal as opposed to back out, to not give Jackson that opportunity. But as things stand, we make things more difficult for ourselves. Um, and I said this. I mean, if anyone knows me, I'm a betting man. I did actually do Rodri to score from outside the box 23-1 yesterday. If anyone's interested, it was going to happen. It was going to happen. He was going to get an opportunity. And again, this is what I mean about defensively. We're not always the ones to do things. I mean, Kovacic here. Look, you look at that there, Desazi. You've got to be closer. Desazi has to be closer to him there. He has to be closer. You can't allow Kovacic or any Man City player. I mean, you look at that there as well. You know, Jack Grealish on the left. You know, Malagusto, Kovacic, realistically, if we're being honest, should actually square that to Grealish and give Grealish opportunity to score from there, because I don't think Gusto was close that down, if I'm being honest. But again, defensively, wasn't good enough in my opinion. There, we weren't good enough. I think we should have done more to close down Kovacic. Um, we didn't do that, but I mean, what a strike from Rodri! What a strike! You know, we know what he can do. I think the ball does ricochet back out from the box there, but Rodri, you know, outside of the box, and then you know, defender that he is, Thiago Silva just sticks the leg out, and it was a very lazy leg to stick out at that situation. I think you know, had he not done that, I think Sanchez would have been able to save that. But you know, as a teacher, as a defender, I've played right back, I've played you know left back as well, and they teach you to always you know think on your front foot, always think about trying to do that you know last ditch attempt to stop the ball from going in the back of the net. But it almost works in City's favor when Thiago sticks out that lazy leg, takes it away from Sanchez, away from goal, and it was just unfortunate. But at that point, in the game, I think I saw a bit of red mist, because I think this is the one goal out of all four from Manchester City that really disappointed me, because you know I feel like this is the one that was the most avoidable. You know, just close him down. It's basic defending. You know, close him down. I don't know if that's Conor Gallagher there, who that is, but just close him down. You have to be first to the ball. You have to be first. You have to put your body on the line and do what you need to do. I was very disheartened, but then to see us carry on, and this is why I said at the very start of this video, you know, we played like the Chelsea of old. We didn't stop. You know, it felt like a Champions League, Liverpool versus Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. You know, Champions League night couple of seasons ago. You know, where we, you know, it was always end to end entertainment. As I said, for a neutral, but we carried on fighting to the end. You know, Amanda Broya coming in, and what I love about this as well is the disguise, the dummy from Broya. He looks like he's going to take the shot on. He doesn't. He takes a little time just to sort of entice Ruben Diaz into that foul. And I thought that was brilliant bit of football from Broya to do that. There was no arguments about that. I mean, it's a foul. And I thought again, you know, I said it before. I'm going to say it again. I'm saying it because I think it's the right thing to say, but I think Nicholas Jackson should be taking the ball off Cole Palmer for these penalties. I'm glad that Cole Palmer's putting them away 100%, but I think as a striker, as a number 9, someone who's low on confidence, who wants goals, you know, wants to try and increase his goal tally for the season, strikers should be taking those. And to credit Cole Palmer, I mean, it can't be easy, you know, taking a penalty against the team that I think you've played for since you were 15, since you were 15, and to do that, you know, against the team that your family probably support. You know, you've got friends who probably still support or will support City, but to do that, for me personally, you can't take that away from him. But I do think Nicholas Jackson should be, for confidence reasons more than anything, should be taking penalties for Chelsea. But brilliant penalty from Cole Palmer, took it away really well. It did take a slight deflection off the post, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I mean, he's proven his worth. I think it was 43 something million we've paid for him. You know, lovely to see him get called up to the England team as well. For me, someone that deserves it, someone that should have been called up anyway. I don't understand why he wasn't in the frame in the first place. I think, you know, he's proven that he's got the qualities, and if he carries on playing as he is, and hopefully he doesn't get injured while he's on international duty, but if he carries on the qualities and the way that he's playing at the moment, I can actually see him going to the Euros. I think he deserves a seat on the plane. I think he's got bags of talent. Cole Palmer, he's someone for me that we haven't had such a talent at Chelsea for so long. we forgot what it's like to have someone who's very creative on the ball and can make something happen in the blink of an eye. You know, we talk about Sterling, but I think Cole Palmer coming through just adds a bit more balance in that team for us, and it looks like he's enjoying his football. They said on commentary, that he's obviously played a lot more minutes already for Chelsea than he did for Manchester City. And it was crucial, I said in the preview, that we started with Sterling and Cole Palmer, two players that will have something to prove to Manchester City, something to prove to Pep. Um, and they did, they delivered. I thought Desazi was really good, albeit for some of the errors for the goal. I thought Reece James looked good, back to his usual self. But the only thing with Reece James, and I'll say it again, is we have to see these sort of performances from the likes of Reece James, from Sterling, from Nicholas Jackson. We have to see it more consistently. If we don't see that and we don't get that from them, then all these sort of good performances, it counts for nothing, because we need to see that on. We've got some really big fixtures. I think Newcastle next coming up. Manchester United, I think, as well. So we've got some really big games coming up that we just have to deal with. We have to be able to cope with these sort of big fixtures and see them out as well. Like I said, it was a good game for the neutral, but I do think we should have walked away with 3 points yesterday. I think we were that good. City were poor. Defensively, I think they were just poor. I don't think their formation of bringing Akanji into that midfield and trying to do the John Stones role worked for them. It left a lot of space for us to run in behind, and we exploited that a lot, but we should have won that game. And I think when we look back on this, if this is the sort of game that means we miss out on Champions League come the end of the season, or we miss out on Europa League, it's these kind of games that I think we'll look back on, not the Lutons or the Forests or the games that we should be winning, but it's these sort of games where, you've got to beat what we would consider our rivals. We have to beat them, and we didn't. We should have done it. We should have done really well, and saw seen the game out, and we didn't. But a lot of credit for the players, a lot of credit to Pochettino, and I loved seeing Poch at the end. The cameras panned to Maurizio Pochettino, and you could see that he was livid. He was livid with Anthony Taylor. Even at the point where the game comes to an end, Cucurella's on the break. One final push, and I think even with the stoppage time and the added time as well, you should have let that play run out and then see what happens and then blow the whistle. I think there was a lot of things that annoyed Pochettino throughout the game. Obviously, the penalty, the decision, the foul before that penalty was given to Haaland as well. I think Pochettino was probably booked as well at some point. Picked up a yellow card at some point as well. But it was a game that me personally, I thought we were going to go into. We're going to lose. I said 3-1 before the game kicked off on the Friday. And if we can play like that week in, week out, we might actually be turning a corner here. We might actually be turning the most critical part of the season. Once we get these internationals out of the way, busy Christmas period, and then that's, for me personally, when the season actually takes shape, the league takes shape, and we have to start winning these big games. We have to. If we're going to start trying to push into the Champions League, which is I'd assume the owner's objective, the manager's objective, the club's objective, then we have to win these sort of games. We have to push on. We have to perform as we can. We're bringing back some good players in Romeo Lavia, who we haven't seen yet at Chelsea. Nkunku looks like he's going to be back for the next game after the internationals as well. So there's players that are coming back into this team that will want to prove themselves to Pochettino as well. So we've got a lot to look forward to, but it all counts for nothing if we don't do it on the pitch. So in my opinion, brilliant result for us, brilliant 4 goals. Unlucky not to get the 3 points, but I can take away the positives and can take away the fact that we played probably the best team, or one of the best teams in the world, and we didn't get thrashed, but we should have won. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you think about the goals. Let me know what you think about our defensive duties as well. Do we need to do more? Would you have played Badiashile over Desazi? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit the Linktree link in the description as well. Until next time, we'll hopefully be back later on this week with a podcast episode as well. Obviously, we've got the international break, but we'll still have the episode out. So make sure you tune into that. Linktree links also in the description. So hit that before you leave. But until next time, thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back soon.